Hey my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Today is a very special day my dear friends, because I've got an exclusive scoop for the Andor series. Now this is something that one of my sources shared with me a long time ago, but it's only over this past weekend that they confirmed they're sure of it. Now I also want to say that Bespin Bulletin reached out to me after I teased the scoop with Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars, and the scoop aligns with stuff they've heard for the show too, and incidentally, Bespin Bulletin are going to publish an article later in the week elaborating on such things. So you're probably wondering, what is the scoop? I've heard that Mas Amedda, the nominal leader of the Coruscant provisional government under Palpatine, is going to appear in Star Wars Andor. No further details are known regarding which actor is going to play him or even how many episodes he's going to be in. It's also worth noting that my source is pretty sure that it's not going to be in flashbacks but rather in the present day, 5 BBY. Now while this scoop might not sound too major for some people, it's quite revealing for other things that we might see in the show. After all, we've heard for many months now that Coruscant is going to play a big part in Andor, and this leak goes hand in hand with that. Mas Amedda was a very important character at this point in the timeline in the galactic capital. Apart from being a scumbag politician, as well as Palpatine's yes man, he also played a vital role in the Imperial landscape on Coruscant. Now, the inevitable question that comes with a rumour like this is, are we going to see Palpatine himself? Honestly, I have no idea, and I don't want to give anyone false hope. Having said that, if Sheev was going to appear in the series, this is certainly a promising sign. Although from what I've heard and gathered, there were no intentions to bring him into the show. Even if Ian McDiarmid were to make an appearance, I imagine it's something that Lucasfilm would keep heavily under wraps. Now, Mas Amedda has appeared across various Star Wars media after his first appearance in 1999's The Phantom Menace. He went on to feature in the other two prequels, various episodes of the Clone Wars, as well as showing up in novels and comics. He witnessed the ascension of Palpatine as Emperor of the Galaxy and retained his power in the Empire, serving as the Grand Vizier in the Imperial Ruling Council. And then by the time of Return of the Jedi, after the Emperor is killed, Mas Amedda was forced to serve as a figurehead for Fleet Admiral Gallius Rax, the self-styled counselor to the Empire. And we know a lot about this from the Aftermath trilogy. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, I have heard a couple of other character rumours for Andor, but for those, my source is still unsure if they were for Kenobi or Andor, because a lot of the early leaks for those series were conflated and confused for one another. But a return to Coruscant in the Andor series and seeing one familiar face is a very exciting indication that the show is going to work to expand the current Star Wars lore and canon in a meaningful way. Now naturally, we were always going to see important political figures like this in a series that focuses on the rebellion's struggle with the Empire, and Mas Amedda's appearance in the Andor show is a long time in the making. He actually appears in a lot of the Rogue One prequel material, such as the novel Catalyst. He had numerous interactions with many important Imperial figures like Orson Krennic, and oversaw many of the Empire's operations. So that's the scoop guys, and if I hear any more in this subject, I will make a follow-up on these details. For now though, we'll take this piece of the puzzle and eagerly await the show, which is rumoured to be released in August of this year. We should be getting a full trailer at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. Now you've heard me say this 1,000,001 times, do not sleep on the Andor series. It's gonna surprise you, tons of fun, it's sounding like a very promising storyline, with hopefully many surprises too. And as you guys know, I've been really ramping up my Rogue One content recently. Yesterday I published a video on the alternate ending to the film, where Jyn Erso and Andor survive. And of course last week I published my Untold Secrets video, so go check those out if you've not done so. I promise you're really gonna enjoy them. So that, my dear friends, concludes the scoop section. Now, as I said on Twitter yesterday, I don't often get these, but when they come through, they're truly exciting. Not the biggest reveal, but a character we all remember and are familiar with. I don't know about you, but I'm just really excited to return to Coruscant. I miss that planet so much. As of right now, we know that a lot of returning characters from Rogue One are going to feature in this series, but the show is going to try and diversify and expand our view on the Rebellion, the various factions of the Rebellion, and of course the Empire. There are going to be tons of fun planets and scenery given the various filming locations and conditions, and overall I predict this is going to be the series that gives us the best world building. And I think another reason I'm really excited for the show is the fact that it's a spy thriller, some darker elements of the Rebellion, touching on the political side of things, division, frustration within the cause, and all of that's going to work so well for the small screen. It's basically going to feel like a Star Wars Netflix series, but of course for Disney+. And so finally, my dear friends, just some more general news. We've got quite a bit for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's focus on some of the things that have been making the rounds, notably Liam Neeson very clearly messing with the fans. As we know from the making Star Wars leaks, he was heavily involved in the Kenobi series. It's rumoured that we're going to hear his Force voice in episode 5, and then in the final episode he's going to manifest in Obi-Wan's cave as a fully fledged Force ghost. But as always, Liam Neeson is playing coy for the press. He even once denied he even knew what the Kenobi series was. Well, now cheekily he's outlined his one condition to return to Star Wars, stating he prefers the big screen, in other words cinematic releases, and not for TV. And if indeed he is in the Kenobi series as the leaks state, this is going to age pretty hilariously. So speaking with comicbook.com, Liam Neeson shared his desire to return to the role of Qui-Gon Jinn, having not played the role on screen since 1999. Although he wants to come back, Liam Neeson admitted to being, quote, a bit of a snob in regards to TV roles, and said once again that he'd be open to reprising the role under the condition that it's on the big screen. He also went on to praise his Star Wars experience as being, quote, terrific. Let's see the exact quote. Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so. If it was a film. Yeah, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to TV. I must admit, I just like the big screen, you know. Qui-Gon, I can't believe it's 24 years since we made Star Wars The Phantom Menace. I just can't believe where the time has gone. It was a terrific experience shooting that film in London. And as many outlets have pointed out, he is very clearly trying to deter fans and throw them off the trail. And in recent weeks and months, he really seems to love talking about Qui-Gon, and I think there's a very specific reason. Of course, a lot of the time it's simply because he was asked. Many interviewers are curious to see his response to the Kenobi show. But at this point, I couldn't imagine a Deborah Chow Kenobi series without the inclusion of Qui-Gon Jinn. But he's doing the professional thing, he's never going to admit it, it's clearly an NDA, and for what's going to be such a big surprise, of course he's not going to say anything except for no. It's hilarious nonetheless. I absolutely love Liam Neeson. So just 38 days to go, guys. How are you feeling about the Kenobi series? I know some of the discourse has been a little bit strange in terms of the leaks. I've seen a lot of fans worried specifically about Reva, the third sister, taking the spotlight. I personally think the worry is a bit over-exaggerated and a bit bogus at the same time. Yes, she's going to be a main villain, her story is going to be explored a little bit, but there is absolutely no indication that she's going to steal the spotlight from Kenobi or Vader. Some fans think that's what Disney are going to do, but from what the leaks actually state, she's just one small part of the villainry of this series. I can definitely see where some people are coming from, but I think the worry has been hyperbolized to death. And the reason I say this is she's going to be used as a tool for fans to see the other side of the Jedi Order, to see how young children are taken from their homes, and I guess indoctrinated, if you want to use that word, into the ways of the Jedi. She's being used as an Inquisitor by Vader, but the show is going to make the point that it was never the path she chose. It's giving us a new and fresh perspective. I don't see it as her taking over the series, especially when you have Joby Harold and Deborah Chow coming out and saying this show is literally Kenobi and Vader, all of the rest is just background noise. Yes, they're going to explore some of the villains in more depth, but don't worry, we're not just going to have a show based around Reva. And I'm curious to know what she's going to be like in the show. I'm really excited. I'm going in with a very positive mindset, and when the show drops, we can review it, discuss it, and reassess then. But personally, I'm not going in thinking this show is all about the third sister, because there's no indication that it's going to be. But I think that wraps things up for today's video, my dear friends. Please share your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a huge welcome if you are. And if you want more videos that you cannot find here on YouTube, then please be sure to go over to my Patreon page. The link is down there in the description. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.